So the idea with this one is we can't let it sit the way it is right now because we are not allowed to have radicals in our denominator. So the square root of 5 is making this unacceptable to leave as a final answer right now. We are not trying to solve anything. We simply need to rationalize the denominator, or in other words, we need to express this fraction, we need to rewrite this fraction in a way that is acceptable. To do that, we need to multiply by something that would cancel out the radical in the denominator. And what we are looking for is a term that we have learned. It's called a conjugate. And basically what that means is we just need to flip that middle sign. In other words, the conjugate for this denominator would be 3 plus the square root of 5. So we need to multiply by 3 plus the square root of 5 in both our numerator and our denominator. Remember, whatever you choose to multiply by has to be the same on the numerator and denominator, top and bottom, or else you're kind of breaking rules. So what it looks like we have here are two foiling problems. We need to FOIL the numerators and FOIL the denominators. So I'll start with the numerators. 3 times 3 would give us 9. 3 times the square root of 5 would give us 3 square root of 5. The negative square root of 7 times 3 would be negative 3 square root of 7. And last but not least, the negative square root of 7 times the positive square root of 5. First off, a negative times a positive is a negative. 7 times 5 is 35. So we'd have the square root of 35. In our denominator, 3 times 3 is 9 again. 3 times the square root of 5 is 3 square root of 5 again. Negative square root of 5 times 3 would simply be negative 3 square root of 5. And negative square root of 5 times positive square root of 5, again, a negative times a positive is a negative, and 5 times 5 would be the square root of 25. Now this is a good place to stop and kind of give ourselves a quick check to make sure that we at least have a chance at doing this right. You want to check the middle terms in your denominator. If the middle two terms are not something that cancels, then you should not be moving on. Do not assume that they cancel and just cross things out. You should be foiling this out in its entirety and using this as an opportunity to double check yourself. Do not just assume everything's going to work out because you can't make mistakes. Since those middle two terms do cancel, that's what makes me willing to continue on with this problem. So, in my denominator, I notice that the square root of 25 is 5, which means I really have 9 minus 5 down there. In my numerator, 9, 3 square root of 5, and 3 square root of 7 are all not like terms. They are all different terms, so none of those can cancel. The square root of 35, I would at least take a second to ask myself, can I possibly simplify that? But it turns out it's just 5 and 7, and so no, I don't have any pairs that I can pull out. Which means, as surprising as it seems, none of the terms in my numerator are alike. None of them are in common. So I can't cancel any of them or combine any of them. All I can do is take 9 minus 5 to give us a final answer of 9 plus 3 square root of 5 minus 3 square root of 7 minus the square root of 35 all over 4. That would be your answer.